Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, I am Murad Agriculture, Senior Lecturer, Department of Agriculture Studies, Milestone College, Uttara Dhaka. Today, I'll discuss some important disease of poultry, which is called bird flu or avian influenza, gumboro disease, and foulpox. After watching this video, you are able to understand the causes, symptoms, and control measures. And I hope this will help for your MCQ and CQ test. Let's move on to the details of these three diseases. First of all, bird flu or avian influenza. In our country, it was indicated in the year 2007, but in 1968 it was first indicated in Hong Kong, and the causes or the reasons of this disease is virus, and the subtype or strain is H5 and H7. And the symptoms of this disease is this disease die without showing any symptoms, and its poultry becomes very weak, and the excreta liquid like water are is very liquid like water, and the hen will be very thirsty, and when become thirsty the breathing problem of the hen become observed. And if you have a look the previous picture, in here you see the hair or the fur is very irregular organization, and eyes become swell up, that means and the eyes, from the eyes the water drops from the eyes, and the shank, that means the featherless substance, featherless leg is becomes reddish in color, and the chicken began to feeling very drowsy. This is the most important symptoms of this disease. And the other thing is, in this disease is millions of you know, chicken or poultry become die after showing in a farm. And that means when one disease is this disease happen in a farm, that time it will be in epidemic condition, then that is very loss for the poultry industry. And next, the control measure. Obviously, a disease control measures we can divide it into two portions, which is prevention and treatment. Treatment, and the prevention, which is you have to follow before the attack of the or infected the disease. And the prevention of this disease is you have to ensure the biological control, that means make sure the all type of germs will not enter in the site when it is a commercially do. And when you find any dead hen, that time you have to bury it underneath the soil, and then separate the healthy chicken. When you find any chicken will be sick or something like that, if you observed in the farm, that will be the first prevention of the any type of disease. And you have to clean the farm as well. Then the vaccine. Obviously there will be some vaccine of this disease, which is you have to apply at the age of 1 day 1 drop bird flu vaccine in the eyes, and then you have to apply 1 cc injection at any age of underneath the skin, and you have to follow it when you got start the farm. Next, the treatment. But in for bird flu disease, there will be no treatment. After attacking this, there will be no treatment and prevention as well. Like I said in the previous, this this disease is showing any symptoms, the poultry is dying. So you have to follow, you have to think about this one. So you have to always clean the farm, and you have to vaccinate this for the disease. Next disease is gumbo disease, and this is another important disease of the poultry, and it is caused as well the virus, and in our country first it observed in 1992, and it's come from the Gambur city of USA, and in there in 1962 it was observed at that time. And you have looked the symptoms of figure of a chicken here. uh, the symptoms, the poultry, when is infected by this disease, that time their excreta become very stink. That means bad odor comes from the uh, chicken excreta, that means poultry excreta, and the poultry becomes very drowsy and sit it at the one side corner of the house, or that means on the farmer, and shivering the body becomes very high temperature observed on the body, and severe thirsty, that means he's become very thirsty without lack of water. The chickens is very weak, and they are not interested to take any feed, and suddenly lies in the ground, and the blood and slippery material comes out from the excreta. If you observe this figure, I'll try to give some figure which is the excreta come out, and this one is very stings, and the bloods and slippery materials comes from this excreta. So this is the symptoms of this disease. Next, as usual, the control measures. When you see the control measures, I told you always prevention and treatment, and will be the control measures. The first treatment is you have to ensure the biological control. That means you have to make sure no uh, germs will enter in the commercial farm, not even in the commercial farm, in the household farm as well. I'm talking of the commercial farm because the farm, in a commercial farm, about 50 to 100 less than nobody do the commercial farm less than 100 at poultry. That means sometimes in a farm is 100 1000 poultry, sometimes 2000 poultry, sometimes 3000 and more as well. If you that time, if you do not control the biological issues, like if there is a dirty substance or the unhygienic egg or germs enter in the place, that time this type of disease will be occurring there. And next is when you find any, disease like dead chicken, it might be not the causes of gum disease, but might be is dead, because dead some of the materials there will be the virus materials or germs will be created here or produced there. That is why you have to instantly take the dead chicken and bury underneath the soil. And then if you find any type of chicken is healthy, sick, that time you have to separate the sick one from the healthy. This is the first prevention you have to follow in every disease. Next one is obviously the vaccine. So always remember that when you start a poultry farm, you have to vaccinate the poultry first. If you do not, then it will not work out, because maximum poultry disease they don't have any treatment or vaccine after treatment or prevention after affected. That is why you have to vaccine properly. So what will be the Gambro vaccine? About 7 to 8 days chicken, day old chicken, you have to vaccine first one drop of, and after 21 to 22 days later you have to apply that vaccine again in both eyes, two times a day. And that is the first vaccine. And again, you can apply zero point 0.3 ml injection when the age of the chicken will be 18 to 20 weeks underneath the skin. Next is a gumbo treatment. Again, there will be no treatment and prevention after attacking the disease. So, if you do not follow the prevention, then it will easily attack in your poultry farm, and you will be a big loss of this farm. Next disease is fowl pox. This is the another harmful disease of poultry, and this is um, very it will cost very losses of the poultry farm. This the cause of this disease is virus. And if you see the see the two picture here, which is if you have a look the pox, that means it looks like a pimple create on the comb or head, and here on the top of the eyes as well. This is called the pox. and and if you go through the symptoms, which is I told you pox is seen on the comb and leg as well, even in the head, and beside the whole body as well. And when is pox is severe condition, that time eyes become blocked, the eyes become blocked. And when you see the pox is first time when you see the pox, that will be the is reddish in color, and then after a couple of days later it will be turn into black color. And sometimes it will the pox create inside your mouth, inside the your poultry mouth, as well as alimentary canal. And then that will not take any food. That means the poultry is very they are not willing to take the food as well. And next, the liquid metals come out from the eye and nose due to the effect of this disease. Because you see the picture here, you see the pimple or the pox surround his head and eyes become blocked. And after a few days later, this pox will be a very ooze come from the pox, and the liquid metal comes out from the eyes and nose as well. And due to this, because I told you the mouth and alimentary canal affected the pox, and that is why they got some breathing problem as well, and cannot take to food. And egg laying hen decreasing the laying the egg. And this is the most important and point as well. So that is why in layer farm, if this fowl pox disease is attacked, then that will be very disaster for the for that poultry farm. Again, the control measures as well, the same like previous, is prevention and treatment. And same thing, fowl prevention is ensure biological control, all bury the dead hens, separate healthy one from sick one. So every time I told you this point, because this point is very important for your poultry farm. Like when in household area they rear the chicken, that time they are not control this thing. But when you do the poultry farm, like I told you before, about more than 120 200 at chicken in a farm, that time that will be a commercial farm. So that time you have to follow the proper rules. So you have to ensure the biological control. That means no unknown person will be entering that place. Because if the unknown person entering the place, you never know what germs they can bring inside the farm as well. Even any wild animals as well, you have to protect from that as well. That is called the biological control. Sometimes the fox or dog or rat, um, uh, even mouse and snake might come in the inside the poultry farm. It might be happen in the rural area as well. So that is why you have to control that place, because they kill the chicken or they eat the chicken or poultry, and sometimes they bring the germs as well. So that is why you have to ensure that one. uh, Again, you have to build the dead hen underneath the soil. Separate the sick one if you found any from the healthy chicken. This is the prevention. Next, you have to vaccine as well. So there is not proper vaccine working on this, but you have to vaccine this one, which is when the age is 2 weeks. That time you have to you can apply pigeon pox vaccine, and when the age is 4 weeks, that time you can apply pigeon fowl pox vaccine as well. um, Gumroad treatment. And so you can apply some medicine or germicide as well, which is Dettol or iodine or potash as well. And 2 to 3 times a day you can wash the fowl pox on his head, neck, leg. You can clean with the Dettol, iodine, Savlon or potash water 2 to 3 times a day. And even germicide, like powder, Nebalon powder, or sometimes you can found some normal powder as well. You can clean the pox. So that is your today's lecture. It will help you for your CQ MCQ as well. And if you got any problem, definitely you will contact your subject teacher, and he will help you. So thank you.